Morning all. Today we're going to be tying up some molted buggers. We're going to be using up these nice molted marabou for the tail and some molted chenille. We'll start off with getting some lead on our hook. I want to weight the first third of the hook. Howdy, good to have you in. How you doing, K-Fish? First. I used to love doing that. Morning. Oop. Yeah, let's throw a little bit more than that in there. Well, I'm doing fine. I normally put about 12 to 14 wraps on here, depending how the wrap goes. So it ends up being about a third of the hook. No, depending on how thick your lead is and what you're going for. You can weight it how you like. Hey, well, it's good to have you in, mate. Just gonna get this tag end down. Well, that sucked. A few things are more annoying than having plane flight delays, let me tell you. I know, I used to work in an airport. And how often they actually happen. I'm just burying the lead a little bit. Nothing too crazy, just so it's not going to slip around. We'll bring our thread line all the way back to the barb on the hook here. Hey, got a new pack. Stuff's nice looking, eh? Look at that. It's all different molted colors. See if I can get one of these out of here without having a big floofy problem. Not even sure how they attach these. Feels like a cord in the middle, so I'm guessing it's strung. Ooh, this is gonna be messy. I'd like to get some of these light brown ones on the side here. Sorry, just let me fight with this for a second. Should have had this prepped ahead of time. I thought they were just loose in there. But it feels like there's a large core down the middle of it. I'm not really sure how they did that. I'm going to pull it right out. It feels like they tied two strung bits together. which is interesting. I haven't seen that before. So if they tied two of them together, how are you supposed to get them apart? Wow, it's shedding like no one's business. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't remember which company this is, but I'm not a big fan of your packaging ideas. Wow. Guys, check out my. I'm gonna lift this up because it's just funny. Oh, and it flew off as I lifted it up. I had like just a gob of these things attached to my. Oh wow. Okay. I might have to cut these off here. I don't even know if there's. I don't feel any rakuses in. I think they're just packed together. I think that's why they're just coming out like this. Interesting. Okay. That's not what I was expecting. There's no feather. It's just marabou. Huh. Okay. Can I pull it out of here without destroying it? I apologize. Was not expecting this. I've never seen them put it together in this format before. Alright. Man. It's like a snowstorm of marabou floating around in here. I might use these for something completely different because that's crazy bonkers. Dude, I'm not even sure how you would get that other than using like a dubbing clip. I don't know how you get that out of the package without making a huge ass mess. Alright, well, we're gonna tie it in and make the best of what we got here. It's nice stuff though, don't get me wrong, but I really don't understand that whole, how they package that, how they expect you to get it out of there. I thought it was marabou feathers. It is not. It is just the hurls. Hey Tyler, good to have you in, mate. I mean, all that aside though, it's beautiful material. It's absolutely gorgeous marabou. We'll give them that. It is very nice. Wow. Here, let me move my camera a bit so you guys can get a little more of that tail in. There we go. That's gorgeous tail, eh? That is lovely. God, is that ever messy though. Got it just all over me. Being fluffy marabou, it's just sticking to everything. Okay, I normally would tie this in, but it's such a weird ball of fluff, I'm gonna cut it off there. Okay, and I'm gonna tie in some copper wire for this. I was just gonna wrap the hackle in, but we're gonna go with just some soft soft copper. Just gonna cut that off here. That is beautiful marabou, but God, is it ever messy. Hindsight, I think I'm just gonna leave it in the package and just cut little bits off if I can manage it. I mean, it has some benefits, especially if you're doing like dubbing loops and whatever. It definitely has some advantage there. And then you don't have to worry about pulling it off the rake because it's already off. But the center spun portion, where they spun it to the, I don't even want to pick it back up. The center portion where they spun it all together is like super thick. It feels like a squirrel tail, like it's got a spine in the middle. So I don't know if they use like really thick yarn to, I don't know. It's different. Anyway, I'll give it that much. That's a beautiful color. Oh yeah, I guarantee you it will be floating around the house. If I knew it was that messy, I definitely wouldn't have pulled it out of the bag. You can see little bits of it floating and stuck in my beard. Alright, so we're gonna grab a good chunk of this stuff. I did show you guys the thing, but variegated chenille. I believe this is medium. Grab the package in a sec here. Variegated chenille medium, brown yellow, from Netcraft. Although you can get this from, you know, any of your normal suppliers. I'm sure Wapsi and everyone else has it. Kind of missed my mark there. Let me try that again. Just gonna catch in that under thread. There we go. Thread body's looking a little rough. Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's why they call it fishing, not catching, right? That's a lovely chenille. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna actually use my rotary here. Get this bobbing up in the cradle here. Hackle plant. I probably don't need to spin this chenille all that much. It's actually pretty floofed out, but it's a little bit odd on the end where I tied in, just from being flat on the card for a while. So until we get back to this nice stuff down at the bottom, which unfortunately is going to be most of the fly, I'm just going to add a little bit of directional spin to this. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, that's gonna be a nice buggy booger. We'll work on making a nice little thread head there in a bit. Right now I'm just bearing the tip down. We'll get our hackle tied in. I'm just gonna use this guy just to saddle a hackle from, not even sure what saddle it came from, but that's one we're using. So a nice kind of mottled brown. A little bit of lighter color up top. I think it's gonna work out fine. Come on, boy. I want to get this tied in up top without it sliding down. There we go. I'll just get those clipped in with our hackle pliers. Get this guy out of here for a second. I think we got enough in there to do one more fly as well. I like to get a nice single wrap here around the end of this white before we move on to the next. A few trap fibers there. I think we should be good with that because it's going to. Oh, I broke my radius. 1 second. It's too bad. That was a really good wrap. And we're just gonna segment this all the way back. And we're gonna catch it with our copper wire. There it is. I'm just gonna work it out of the marabou a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna counter wrap this copper wire over. That'll help hold the hackle and the chenille together. There we go. Couple strands poking forward there. It's a bit annoying, but it's okay. I'll push them back with a half hitch here in a second. There we go. Last one landed nice. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this back just a little bit here, just so I can get that head finished up. Trying to keep those hackle fibers out. Come on, buddy. Just got one coming through here. I'm just gonna color up. There. She pretty. I'm gonna throw a couple half hitches in there before I cut off that hackle in the back. Could have definitely cut it off sooner, but Yeah, that'll be good enough for now. Get that hackle cut out. That's a beautiful bugger. Oh, I'm happy with that one. The colors on that guy. I like how the front's like goes from that white right into the slight white of the tail. Like a coloration change is awesome on that thing. Really happy with that. And that's just fluke how the feathers came out. Actually, probably have trouble recreating that because I'm not sure what cape I took that feather. Yeah, I'll get some some whip finishes on that. Color good. There we are. Thank you. Just checking the head there. That looks good. Yeah, I really like that color transition. That's cool. There's just some slightly longer marabou ends here. I'm just going to tear the ends off. There we go. And I don't really think I can get it better in frame than that. That's about as much. The end of the tail is kind of right where the screen ends here, so you guys are able to see the whole thing. That is such a cool coloration. I'm really happy with that. I bet that's just gonna smash in the spring. Okay, so we're gonna throw some head cement on there. Oh man, my lid's really on there today. There we go. Must have got a drop on the side. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful morning. Good to have you and Tyler and Ewaz, K-Fish. Okay, I'm gonna do a little spin and spiel for this guy. Just be a second. Okay, so in the vise today, let's just do that over again. In the vise today, we have a muddy bugger. This is tied in on a size 6 long shank Aberdeen hook. It has a wonderful natural modeled marabou tail, a modeled chenille body, yellow and brown, wrapped up with a saddle hackle with a chased copper wire to hold it in place. Really cool coloration on this one. Yeah, it's an excellent little pattern. I'm really happy with how that turned out color-wise. You should add a couple to your box, eh? Wonderful little thing. Just gonna give that head a little more time to dry up there. It's still a little wet. Well, enjoy some tea. Yeah, thanks, he was. I really like the color on that one. I'm excited to try this one. Dang, though, that marabou is messy stuff. I think I'm gonna try and get it back in the bag here. I really feel like taking it out of this bag was a horrible mistake. Oh, it's just everywhere. There's the company, just Flycraft. Ed's Fancy Marabou Molted Brown. Only $2.50. It's an older pack, as you can tell by the price. I don't think you're buying that much marabou for $2.50 anymore. But it's a cool product. It's just I was not expecting to deal with what I was dealing with. But it's got like a, I don't even know if I can show you because I can't really see it, but it's got a really thick cord down the middle, so I'm assuming he must have kind of spun this up in like a dubbing loop with maybe yarn or something. Like it's substantially thick down the middle. I'm not sure how he did that. I was expecting to be able to pull it out like most other strung stuff, but just looking at the package, like to me it just looked like a package of just, you know, cool colored marabou feathers. So, lesson learned. I'm gonna have to like pull it out partially like this and cut my way down the sides, I suppose, because they don't want to come out of that. Whatever he used to wrap is holding it in there real tight, because there's no rakas, it's just the fronds, which is nice. Gives you a really nice, you know, molted tail, but with lots of movement. Okay, I think I got enough. We got enough time to get another one of these guys done up here before I get some breakfast together. Cheers, everyone. Let's get that guy in the box. If I can find out where my box is. Yeah, the box is all the way over there. Okay, this is gonna go live in a cork for now until I get my box. And you're gonna go live in this cork, these other buggers, because there's room on it. There we go. Look at that coloration. That's just so cool. I don't even know if you can buy that this marabou anymore, because it looked like kind of a custom one-off kind of deal. 1 second, I'm gonna let my dog in here. And we're back. Alright, let's try and get another one of these guys done up. Gotta learn my lesson with that marabou. There we go. Oh yeah, let's get some weight on there first. Okay, normally 12, 15 wraps for this size of, I'm just gonna leave it there so you guys can have more view of the tail. Normally I'd have it more centered. So about, yeah, a third of the shank. 3, 4, 5. Oh. Pull a little too hard on there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Good enough. Between 12 and 15 is normally fine. The main reason is you just want to have the head of the fly weighted slightly more than the tail, mostly so the action's correct, because the tail is going to have so much more drag and weight that way in the water. This way you can have it kind of do your little nosedive dips. So the exact amount of thread or lead wraps really isn't going to matter. It's just you need to have the evenness there. But 12 to 15 always seems to work fine for me. I'm just going to bury it in there. And feel free to add a little bit of head cement on that if you want to. Either before or after you wrap it. Just to hold the lead in place. Okay, let's see if we can get some of this out of here without turning into a marabou zombie here. Wow, this stuff is just so fluffy. I'll give it that though, like it's extremely high quality, nice marabou. It is super soft. He obviously didn't, when he says selected, he probably pulled the best out and then spun it. Which I appreciate. Hey mate, good to have you in. Hey wee man. Check out this crazy awesome marabou. It's messy as all get out. So it's just spun up with the marabou by itself, but look at that buggy stuff, eh? That is nice. Now I'm just gonna measure this tail off. I want about 1.5 at least, so that's 1.5. I'm gonna cut off all the wispy bits after I get it tied in. Yeah, it sure does look good. I like this stuff. It's just, man, is it ever messy. It's just the amount that comes off of this. Almost worse than deer hair. Almost. Now I'm gonna bury that in there. It's not really gonna add much for bulk, but there we go. That'll even our lead section out a little bit. There we are. We got all these, like, I'd love to keep them, but they're just a little bit off-centered and long, so I'm just gonna, you can see them there, hopefully. I can see them on my A a little better. pop those guys off. You just use your fingernail, it's fine. They tear rather easily. There we go. What a beautiful coloration that has, eh? Look at that. No idea what kind of bird that came off of. I'm assuming turkey by the size of it, but I don't know what kind of turkey's that color. Doesn't say on the pack. Okay, let's get some copper tied in. Yeah, I like a little bit longer tail on my buggers than some. You'll see people tying them anywhere from a shank length to 2 shanks lengths long. I kind of go somewhere in the middle, about a shank and a half. Really, for me, depends on the size of the hook more than anything. I just try to be consistent with whatever the size is I'm tying, so they're all similar in the box. But I get both sides of the coin there, because some people will say they don't want it. Wonder if this is going to be long enough. Normally they say, or normally when you're wrapping, you want about twice as much of the body length. So I got this doubled over, and I got a little more than twice. So we should be okay. Emphasis on should. But as a general rule of thumb, that mostly works for chenille and other body wraps. Depends a little bit on how tight you're wrapping stuff, a little bit on your style, and a little bit on the size of the hook. Okay, I'm gonna get that tied off there. We'll get that up in the cradle. Hey, good to have you in. I'm just gonna call you Roy, man. Can't really read the rest of your name there. Thanks for coming in, Roy. Yeah, and same thing, we're just gonna get that in our, try and get all this marabou out of it. There we go. I'm just gonna get that in, I'm gonna twist it up. We're gonna go with a clockwise twist, just to get rid of some of this flat spot that's showing right here. I think we'll be good though. There we go. Cool. Back that up. Back that up one twist. Maybe there. I tied that off 3 times, didn't need to, but whatever reason, brain was telling me to. Maybe it was picking up on something I wasn't. Okay, we're gonna pull that, bury it back. Oh, sorry, mate. This is a variegated chenille from Netcraft. Honestly, if you don't have variegated chenille, you can make your own, like, super easy. Yeah, it's a variegated chenille. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Variegated chenille, medium brown, yellow from Netcraft. But you can get it from Wapsi or any chenille company. They all have different variegated buggy types, which I'm a big fan of. They're cool. But like I was saying, if you can't find any or you don't have any, you just want to tie up a few flies, just wrap it, like have it wrapped on a card like this, and then just get a felt marker for whatever your darker color is going to be, preferably, and then you just get your felt marker and just mark it up, and it works incredibly well. And as far as your wrapping part goes, just have it wrapped around a thinner, if you use a thinner thing of cardboard instead of a big wide one like that, it does make the marking a lot quicker. Maybe about the thickness of like your thumb or something. Just gonna color up this chenille that's poking through so I don't have to deal with bearing it off later. Okay. Now the fun part for me is trying to find a matching saddle hackle for that last one, because I don't recall which hackle or which saddle I took it out of. We're gonna try and go for this guy here, because I was using this one before, so it might have come from this guy. But I do not recall. It was just sitting there on my desk, and I'm like, hey, that's like the perfect size and color for that. I'm gonna use that guy. Yeah, I think this might have been where it was coming from. Find one that's not too damaged. Yeah, I think this might have been where it was coming from. It's got that nice white. If I can get it in the shot. Nope, can't. There we go. It's got that nice white undertone to it. So, give me a second to find one the right size. It's gonna work for us. Doesn't really have to be the right size, just close. Yeah, that'll do. That one's pretty good. My dog is super interested in my cape. Not for dog. Yeah, you got lots of chew toys, man. They're not chewing up my nice capes. Okay, sorry that took a minute. There we go. Oh, it's got a nice, it's got the same kind of brown color that's mixed in with the marabou there, which is rather nice. And it's got this nice white base on it, which we also have at the base of the marabou, so that's a really nice happy accident there. Just gonna strip off the fluff. And I'm gonna strip a little bit more off the top of this one here too, or the bottom in this case. Just so I got a few wraps before this starts. Actually, we're just gonna get rid of you too. There we go. There we go. Now we got just the nice wraps for the start of that. In that white. You know, it's not part of the pattern. I just really liked how that looked. I thought it looked great. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this hackle done up. Looks like it's a little bit bushier than our last one, but I think it's still within our size. That's a woolly bugger, so if it's a little bushier, whatever. Come on, buddy, don't do this to me. These hackle fibers are a little bit on the softer side. But that's 100% me pulling too hard on the thing. I want to get at least one nice... Oh, really, man? Come on now. Oh, good. I just have a cheapy one. I don't use it all that much. It's fun to use though, don't get me wrong. I was actually originally gonna dubbing twist this this fly. I was gonna, instead of doing the hackle spinning like we're doing here, up and down like bugger style, I was gonna do a dubbing loop and loop in that marabou all the way along the body. There we go, that worked out well. Okay, we're gonna counter wrap our copper now. Catch the end of that hackle in there. Beauty. Okay, just work our way through all that hackle. Morning. For the most part, as long as you're wiggling it back and forth like that, it's amazing how little hackle fiber you trap in. The hardest part is to get through this the front hackle without banging it up too much. I think I managed okay. There we go. There, that helicoptered off rather nice. Alright, so last time I didn't cut this off right away. I'm going to cut this one off right away. I'll work on getting the head cleaned up. Here. There, happy with that one. Hit that copper. There's a little bit of bright copper that's coming through there. Instead of completely burying it in the thread, which I'm probably going to do anyway, I'm just going to make sure that it's disappears. Ain't gone. Poof, magic marker. The thread, the head's a good size. I'm just trying to clean up it's a little bit on the lumpy side, so we're just gonna clean that up just a hair. There we go. Oh, I do got one fiber that got tied in there. That's unfortunate. One sec. I don't being super picky, literally, because I'm picking out the fiber. Okay, think it might be easier to, again, just use a Sharpie. I'm sure you guys can see it there. Being super picky, you can see that one white fiber got tied down. There we go. Yeah, good enough. Just don't like that horizontal white going on there when everything else is going other directions. Alright, that'll work. We'll throw some half hitches and some whip finishes on that. Color a good one. I'm excited to try that. I like that color. Ooh, come on, man. Good to have you in. Good to have you in, Doug. Well, you're in luck because we're just finishing up here, so it'll probably be just in time for the end of your break there. Got ourselves a multicolored or variegated woolly bugger pattern that I like to call the muddy bugger. Some beautiful variegated marabou. That's a little bit new for me tying with it, but that's nice stuff. Where's the pack here? Look how floofy that stuff is. But judging by the price, it's probably pretty old because I don't think you can buy nice select marabou natural like that for $2 anymore. So it's probably been around the block. Let's get a whip finish on that, get some head cement on there. This comes out of my father-in-law's stock, so I'm not sure on the age on that, but I mean, looking at the printing and the fact that it came from Feathercraft, it's probably not super old, but judging by the price, I'm gonna say at least like 90s maybe. Yeah, select marabou is gonna be like, you know what, $5, $7-ish more dollars now. Alright. Some head cement on there, do our spin and spiel, call it a morning. Head's probably a hair thicker than I would have liked. We had to bury down some imperfections there. But just like 1 or 2 thread thicknesses thicker than I'd like. Still looks good though. I'm not complaining too much. I just like the thickness on the first one. We did it a little better. Okay, we'll do our spin and spiel here. Excuse me. Little tea first. Oh. And today we have in the vise a muddy bugger. This is tied in with a wonderful natural variegated marabou tail, a variegated chenille from Netcraft, wrapped all the way up the body with a copper chased hackle overwrap. Wonderful little bugger pattern. Excited to give this one a try. I really like the coloration on it. I think it's going to do really good in the spring and just early summer when everything's coloring up to those colors and the water gets a little more tan in color. Wonderful little pattern. Add a couple to your box, eh? Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. That turned out quite well. I just want to thank everyone for hanging out with me this morning. Got those couple nice marabou buggers tied up. Look at those guys. Got two nice ones there. You can go hang out with this friend here. Yeah, I like just the slight less thickness on the head on that first one, but otherwise, very cool, very cool. No worries, Ewas. Thanks for coming in, mate. Yeah, I just want to thanks everyone for coming in. We got Ewas, we got Doug Trout Fisher on his break, we got Wee Man, we got Tyler, we got K-Fish if he's still kicking around. It was a pleasure having all you guys in this morning. See you tomorrow.